I should have died that night. In fact, by every human measure, I did. My name is Jamila. I am 34 years old, and I carry with me a story that still burns inside my chest every single day. It is a story of death, of light, of terror, and of a love I had never known until that moment when I stepped beyond this world. I was born into a strict Muslim family in the Middle East. Life was measured by rules: what to wear, when to pray, what to eat, how to speak, and above all, how to obey. From childhood, I memorized verses, covered my body, and bowed my head when commanded. Outwardly, I was the perfect daughter. Inwardly, I was drowning. At night, I would lie awake staring at the ceiling, asking questions I dared not whisper aloud. Does God see me? Does He love me? Or is He only waiting for me to fail? The silence of those nights was heavier than stone. As I grew older, the emptiness only deepened. The rituals became chains instead of answers. I did everything I was told, yet inside I felt parched, like wandering a desert with no water. I hid my doubts because in my world, to question was to invite punishment, or worse, rejection by my own family. Then quietly and unexpectedly, change entered my life through a friend. She spoke of Jesus. At first, I was offended. In my mind, he was just a prophet, not someone worthy of worship. But she spoke differently, with fire in her eyes and peace in her voice. She told me that he was alive, that he was the Son of God who came to save us. Her words were impossible to erase. At night, I found myself whispering his name, Jesus. Each time, peace would settle over me like a soft blanket. I could not explain it. One evening, broken with questions, I finally dropped to my knees and prayed, Jesus, if you are real, show me. If you are the truth, then take me as I am. That night, I dreamed of him. He appeared clothed in brilliant light, his face shining with indescribable love. His eyes pierced me, not with condemnation, but with a tenderness that made me weep. He said, I am the ways, the truth, and the life. I woke trembling but certain. I had met him. My soul, which had cried out for years, finally found the answer. Secretly, I began following him. My prayers changed. I whispered to him when no one could hear. My heart was no longer empty. It was alive. But secrets rarely stay hidden. My family noticed I was different. They demanded explanations. When I finally confessed, saying I believed in Jesus, chaos erupted. My father's face turned red with rage. My brothers shouted. My mother wept like I had shamed generations. They called me traitor, cursed my name, and declared I was no longer part of them. Still, I could not deny him. The peace Jesus gave me was greater than the fear of rejection. But then came the night that changed everything. My father and brothers cornered me. They demanded I renounce him. I shook with terror, yet my lips could not form the lie they wanted. I whispered, I cannot. The blows came fast. Hands, fists, kicks, rage poured out of them. I felt bones crack, pain shooting through my body until everything blurred. My head slammed against the floor. Darkness swallowed me, and then silence. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in my body. I hovered above the scene, watching as my mother knelt weeping over my bruised, lifeless form. My brothers argued in panic, their faces twisted with fear. I looked down at myself, broken and moving, and realized I had crossed into death. Instead of terror, peace wrapped around me like warm light. Then I saw the heavens split open. The sky peeled back as though a curtain was drawn, and a brilliance brighter than the sun poured down. Standing in the clouds was Jesus, robed in glory, his arms outstretched as if welcoming his people. Around him thundered a sound like a trumpet, shaking both heaven and earth. Scenes flashed before me, People everywhere crying, screaming, falling in terror. Mosques filled with people trembling. Churches crowded with voices shouting, but empty of true faith. Even those who mocked God clawed at the air, begging for another chance. Panic spread across the earth, and despair carved itself into every face. I turned back to Jesus. His eyes held both love and urgency. He said, "My bride is being called. My return is very near." My soul trembled. I saw believers rising in joy to meet him, while countless others stood frozen, left behind. I wept for them, my family, my people, the millions who had never truly surrendered to him. And then his hand reached toward me. I longed to stay, to be taken into his glory. But his voice spoke again, firm and tender. "Daughter, it is not your time. I have chosen you for a purpose. Go back and warn them. Tell them I am coming very soon." I fell to my knees, pleading, "Lord, let me stay with you." But he shook his head gently. "You must go back. My children must be warned." His words sealed my fate. The vision faded. The clouds closed. The light dimmed. I felt myself pulled downward, back toward the broken body on the floor. Then, with a violent gasp, breath returned to my lungs. Pain seared every nerve as my eyes opened. My family stared in shock, whispering in fear. I had been dead, but now I lived. I woke in agony. My lips tasted of blood, my ribs throbbed, and my face felt crushed. My family stood around me pale and trembling. They thought I had died, and in truth I had. But something greater than them had sent me back. I lay motionless, too weak to move, but inside I knew I had been given life again for a reason. Jesus had spared me, and his words thundered in my soul. "Go back and warn them. My return is very near." From that moment forward, my life could never be the same. I began to pray in secret. I whispered his name in the quietest corners of my heart. I no longer repeated empty words I had been taught since childhood. Instead, I spoke to him as to a friend who never left my side. Sometimes, when no one could hear, I would lock myself in a room and cry softly, knowing he listened. Through hidden friends, I was given pieces of scripture. Each word was food to my starving soul. I read with trembling hands, tears streaming, as the truth confirmed what I had seen. He was real. He was alive. He was coming soon. But secrecy could not quench the fire inside me. I began to gather with other believers, quietly, in hidden houses behind closed doors. Sometimes only a handful of us, sometimes more. We sang softly so as not to be heard. We prayed with tears in our eyes, ready to scatter at the first sign of discovery. But in those gatherings, I felt his presence as strongly as when I had seen him in the clouds. His peace enveloped us. His spirit strengthened us. Each time I told my story, my voice shook with fear, but my heart burned with courage. I knew the danger. I knew discovery could mean death, but I also knew death no longer had power over me. I had already crossed its threshold and returned. Still, fear lingered, not for myself, but for others. I could not erase the vision of those left behind, faces twisted in regret, voices crying out when it was too late. I remembered their panic, their hopelessness. That vision haunted me more than the memory of being beaten. I live now with danger at every side. My family watches me with suspicion. The authorities could destroy us if they discover our gatherings. Each day could be my last, but I am no longer afraid of dying. I am terrified only that the people I love will remain blind until the trumpet sounds. The message burning in me is simple. Jesus is real. He is alive, and he is returning very soon. Titles, religions, traditions, they will not save anyone. On that day, only those who know Him, who have surrendered their hearts fully, will rise with Him. I should have died that night on my family's floor. Yet here I am still breathing. Each breath is not mine. It is His gift. And with every breath I must speak. I must warn. I must tell the world what I saw. Do not wait. Do not assume there is more time. The world is full of distractions, but His return will be sudden, like a thief in the night. I have seen it. I have heard His voice. His bride is being gathered even now. When I close my eyes, I still see Him, standing in the clouds, radiant, calling His people home. I still hear His words echo in my spirit. Go back and warn them. So I will, even if my voice must be hidden, even if my face must never be seen, even if it costs me everything. Jesus is at the door. He is reaching out to you as He reached for me. Surrender your heart to Him before it is too late. This is why I still live. This is why I still breathe. My name is Jamila. I was 34 years old when I died, and I returned with this truth. Jesus is coming, and He wants you to be ready.